You slaves always request for dua. You slaves always request for dua. Please fulfill the wish of every helpless, Ya Allah. Please fulfill the wish of every helpless, Ya Allah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. My dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel, welcome back to our beautiful program, Spiritual Cures. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
MashaAllah. Saurabhai, how are you? You okay?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. You got your matching grey imama and grey clothes today. Are you feeling now better, MashaAllah?
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. We left over from last week. I have a message from the viewer. The message is, my grandchildren have left their dad to stay with their mother. Any wazifa that I could bring them back home. Sorry, I got mixed up with two messages there. Someone's son has left home. Can you give me a wazifa so that I can bring them back, please? Inshallah Azawajal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Code word Mirpur 115. Please could you do istikhara for my son? He is suffering with depression and very down. So inshallah as well we can do istikhara there as well. Assalamu alaikum. We would like to know about our son. I don't want to mention the name. Please could you do istikhara for him? Please don't disclose the name. Okay, inshallah I'll send that as well. Now there have been a few messages, people saying that we sent you messages but we haven't got a reply. So please, if you did send us a message last week and we couldn't reply to you or do the istikhara, send us that message again and we'll inshallah we will do the istikhara now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please don't mention my name. My son's age is 8 years. He don't listen, don't want to go to masjid school, don't want to read namaz, so much annoying as do istikhara please. But the thing is, you haven't mentioned your son's name. Yes, you have. Okay, inshallah.
So if you forward the names of this istikhara, I think you mentioned the code name, but you didn't forward the message. Also regarding the child that's left home and the parents are wanting the child to return, it mentions recite 2 units, 2 rakats, nafal salah daily for 40 days. And once you've completed your 2 units of nafal, recite Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu 119 times.
Subhanallah.
Inshallah, the person who's gone away will return.
Inshallah.
So 40 days, 2 nafal every day. Once you've completed the 2 nafal, recite Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu 119 times.
119 times. Take, mashallah azawajal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I need some help on anger issues and I get really angry easy. So please can you give me some advice on it? And please can you make dua? My mom is really ill. Allah Ta'ala give your mom shifa. And inshallah as well, Saurabhai will be looking for the wazifa. And you also mentioned some advice as well. And to be honest with you, my advice to you will be that there are so many ways that you can control your anger. And one of the ways is that if you do feel angry, and it's because if someone who has said something to you or someone who's in the same room as you, leave that room. If you are sat down, lay down. If you are standing up, sit down. Do wuzu, to offer 2 rakat nafal. Inshallah azawajal, you'll see the anger will move away.
In regards to anger, firstly I'd like to mention a booklet which Amir al-Sunnat have written on this topic, Cure for Anger in English, or Gusse Ka Ilaj in Urdu. This can be purchased from your nearest Maktabatul Madina, Dawud Islami's bookshop. If there isn't one in your locality, then you can download it free from Dawud Islami website, www.dawudislami.net. I think it more than likely will also be available from the Ruhani Ilaj application as well.
MashaAllah.
So I'd recommend that you download that. Some of the Madani flowers, the Madani pearls that you're just giving now, for example, making ablution, remaining quiet, moving away from the cause of anger, etc. All these are listed there with a lot of other spiritual. I mean, I'm just going to mention one spiritual cure, but there's several things that Amir have compiled there. Simply, when you feel angry, recite Ya Wadudu just the once with Salat ala Nabi before and after, i.e. Durood Sharif once before, once after, and then perform them upon water. Drink that water with 3 sips and do this for 40 days. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, you will have control of your anger to some extent.
MashaAllah Azza wa Jal. So try to control your anger. The Tasawwur Bhai gave us a beautiful wazifa. We can recite that as well. Recite Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah as well. Inshallah, so that way you will control your anger. But look at the other consequences. If you don't control your anger, ma'azallah, if you are a woman, and you don't control your anger, maybe you're going to get your husband really angry and he might say the words and that will be the end of it. So try to control your anger, try to avoid that confrontation. Inshallah Azza Allah Ta'ala will give barakat and blessing, and inshallah Azza Allah Azza will help you as well. MashaAllah Azza we had a code word Mirpur 115, but the Islam brother has said that there's no name for who the istikhara is for. So please, if you can give us the name for who the istikhara is for as well. Istikhara was done also for, he says, hello, we would like to know about our son. Please could you do istikhara for him? Yeah, so the istikhara has been done for that, and it is about nazar. So nazar is evil eye. So evil eye, Tasawwur Bhai, what is the wazifa for evil eye?
For evil eye, if they write Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu, either write it themselves or if they can't write it themselves, get it written from somebody. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu 786 times on a piece of paper, make it into an amulet, taweez, plastic coat, etc. Sew it into material and get the child or whoever is afflicted with the evil eye to get them to wear it, inshallah, around the neck or even around the arm.
MashaAllah. We have another istikhara that has been done. Again, no code word, but it was for a child who was 8 years old. He doesn't listen, doesn't want to go to masjid, school or anything. Istikhara has been done for him as well, and it is again evil eye.
La ilaha illallah 60 times with Durood Sharif before and after, and perform them upon the child. Inshallah.
And another thing, Tasawwur Bhai, the child, what suggestion would you give? He's only 8 years old, but he doesn't go to school. He's causing problems to his parents now. Any word of advice or any spiritual cure? You mentioned one, but how can we get this kid on the straight path?
Okay, this is for those children who don't feel like studying. I think we've got the same situation here where they don't want to send him to madrasa, he doesn't want to go to school, etc. He's not wanting to study. So this particular spiritual cure, for those viewers who are watching as well, if any of your children don't feel like studying, they don't want to study, and this, you can all do this spiritual cure. It mentions that recite Ya Allahu Ya Rahmanu 101 times with Durood Sharif before and after, and perform them upon some water. Now it mentions that you can do this after every namaz.
Okay.
So, for example, if you did it after Fajr, and then you can keep that and give it to your child to drink for the rest of that day, or you can recite the spiritual cure after each salah and keep performing them on the water. So Ya Allah Ya Rahmanu 101 times with the Durood Sharif before and after, perform them upon some water, and then give that water to your children to drink. Inshallah they will be inclined towards studying.
MashaAllah. I've got some more, so I just want to forward these on for the istikhara, and then inshallah I'll try to go through them as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you please do istikhara for my son Ibrahim and daughter, my mother's name? Last 2 times you said they still had nazar. We prayed La ilaha illallah 60 times and also burnt red chilies. We had strong smell only twice. Can you please do istikhara again to confirm if they still have nazar? Code word 786-1. So I have sent it. I've sent that.
Yeah, the istikhara has been done for that.
Okay.
It mentions that it's come back clear now.
Okay, mashallah. Code word 786-1. Istikhara has come back as clear. So inshallah Azza wa Jal, But also, if sometimes parents have that fear that, someone will do black nazar again, how can they keep away from that? Do they have to burn red chilies every day? I was going to let you finish, and I was going to mention,
basically the spiritual cure that they've practiced, after the evil eye was present, they did the spiritual cure of La ilaha illallah 60 times. They also did the red chili, so they've eradicated. So that evil eye has been removed. Now evil eye is something that it can come back. So if they keep hold of that spiritual cure, also the method of how to burn the chilies. So if they are suspicious of the evil eye returning, because for example the child is doing certain things and they think that evil eye is there, they can get istikhara done again and get it checked. But they've got the spiritual cure that if evil eye is inflicted again, then they've got that spiritual cure. But what I would recommend is that they visit the nearest Tawizat-e-Tariya Basta and get a Nazar Tawiz. That to some extent will control that the child won't get nazar in the first place.
MashaAllah. Some istikharas have been done. So I think if you can check them istikharas and try to give the wazaif regarding that. And I'll just read a few more messages. We've got another istikhara request as well. Assalamu alaikum. I've got your message, Sawar Bhai. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. How are you brothers doing? Welcome to Sawar Bhai. Imran Bhai from Bradford 9. MashaAllah. Jazakallah Imran Bhai. Allah Ta'ala give you barakat, MashaAllah. Yeah, no doubt Sawar Bhai is coming back, is welcoming for all of us, MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My business partner and I purchased a property to refurbish and sell. But seller's daughter did not leave property and now we have to go to court to evict her. This has caused a lot of heartache. Allah Ta'ala make it easier for you and may Allah Azza wa Jal, grant the best out of that for you, inshallah Azza wa Jal. Sometimes it's a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. So you've gone the right direction by going to the authorities rather than taking actions yourself. Sometimes what happens, it's a case where sometimes people do get angry and they will do something which they will regret it for the rest of their lives. But you've done the right thing by going to the authorities and to the court. May Allah Ta'ala make it easier for you.
There's no code name for this istikhara. Istikhara regarding a couple they've been applying for jobs, etc. Not having much success, and they wanted to know whether black magic has been involved. The istikhara was done and the reply came back as a test from Allah. So there's no interference of any sort, no evil eye, etc. A spiritual cure for this regard, both husband and wife can do this. Ya alimu, ya alimu, ya alimu. Recite this in abundance. So there's no fixed time and there's no fixed amount. Just recite this continuously, inshallah Azza wa Jal.
The test will go away.
Will go away.
Subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name, I had a house for sale, but it's not selling. I had about 4 buyers before signing the contract. They back out of the sale. Okay, this is someone in Birmingham, and they've given the address as well. If I think I've sent that for the istikhara. So if the istikhara has been done, then you can let us know, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I want to apply for another job. Is it good to apply or not? Okay, I think that it's been answered in the next, so I'll just send that on for istikhara. MashaAllah Azza wa Jal.
Yeah, there's an istikhara which was code name Madina Park 12.
MashaAllah.
The istikhara reply has come back as a sign of illness. A spiritual cure in this regard, recite Ya Mu'idu, Ya Mu'idu, Ya Mu'idu in abundance. No fixed time, no fixed amount. With the Rushi before and after from time to time. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, the illness will go away.
I've got another istikhara request as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Code word 1987. My brother has mental illness and I had istikhara done and it was nazar. How do I do the wazifa if he is in hospital? Yeah, that's what you mentioned as well.
I got about a minute or so to think in regards to this. They probably will, I think they're allowed to speak to them on the phone.
Yeah, you can talk to them on the phone,
yeah. Obviously, I'll look into it deeper because these sort of situations we're in at the moment now. So, where somebody's in hospital, you can't visit them. This one in particular is to do with evil eye, but it could be other problems. So, it's something that I'll look into and see what other options there are. The option that's sort of coming into my mind at the moment is that they can speak to them. if that person can recite the La ilaha illallah 60 times,
yeah,
with the
obviously he will be able to read that, yeah.
And he performed them upon himself.
Yeah.
So that would.
That's good, mashallah.
That's just something that came to mind at the moment.
No,
but inshallah, we will look into other options, what we could do.
Theek hai, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Please, I and my husband have been looking for better job, but whoever promises fails. Please do istikhara for us to be sure.
Yeah, we've done that one.
Yeah, there is no black magic. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I watch your program every Fridays and I do try to pass it on to other people as well. Please, can you make dua for me as well? And also tell us what we can read at home to keep ourselves safe from corona. Yeah. Now, this brother is asking for a wazifa to keep away from coronavirus. Now, one is the dua that Amir al-Sunnah has taught us. Allahumma afini fi badani, Allahumma afini fi sam'i, Allahumma afini fi basari, la ilaha illa anta.
Yeah, Ya Wakilu after Asr 7 times.
Ya Wakilu, mashallah.
There's quite a few.
Ji, subhanallah. So, the one thing is, alhamdulillah, there is barakat in the wazaifs that you read, but you also need to understand that you need to take care of your own self as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, caution, as they say, it is better to be cautious than be sorry later on. So please, wherever you go, because we know that, the virus is there, we know that people are suffering, forget the conspiracy theories, things are there. Yeah, they're there on their own, but the thing is, be cautious whenever you go home. So for example, now, inshallah, when we go home, we should be washing our hands because we've been from outside. Wash your hands with soap for 20 seconds, as they say, and make sure you rub your hands. And also, when you go home, read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And if you don't have a ta'weez outside your house for the protection of corona, inshallah, you'll see the Islamic brothers in your area, and they'll write that ta'weez for you. Hang that ta'weez outside your door. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala will protect you as well.
See, even these are precautionary measures. For example, like the ta'weez which Amir al-Sunnah gave to us to put outside your door, or your gate, or your entrance. So that's a precautionary measure. But it still doesn't mean that, we take these precautions. For example, we've given a wazifa, so the brother is doing this wazifa, and then he doesn't bother with any of the precautions. Thinking, I'm safe now, I do this wazifa, or I'm wearing this ta'weez that Amir al-Sunnah have given, which is for protection of COVID-19. So I'm wearing this ta'weez, so now I can do anything I want. Forget the precautionary measures, I've got a ta'weez on. It shouldn't be like that. The ta'weez is there, you've got it on. The ta'weez, the protection of your home, you've got it on outside. That's fine as well. You're doing the wazifa as well, but you still need to do these precautionary measures.
Ji. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Could you please do istikhara for me? I've forwarded that on. I have vitamin and iron deficiency, which makes me feel weakened and not able to do as much as work as I would like to do. I also have anxiety and shortness of breath. I wanted to ask whether it is nazar or not. Okay, inshallah, so then we'll do. Islam brother has texted, Assalamu alaikum. I have a son who is 26 years old, doesn't want to get married, doesn't have a job. Please, can you tell me what I could do? Sometimes, you're in a very awkward position, aren't you? That, you've got a son who's 26 years old, doesn't want to get married, doesn't want to find a job. And then most likely what will happen is he'll go and, mix into the wrong crowd. And if that happens, then, sadly, that's a very, very bad thing to do. So please, all those youngsters, teenagers who are out there, you might be off school because of the coronavirus, but that doesn't mean that you don't stay at home and look after your parents and your other siblings as well. Please make sure when you do go out, you don't go out with bad friends. You can go to the masjid and offer your namaz with jamaat, but do not go out with your bad friends, because if that is the situation at this moment in time, sadly, so many parents, maybe they're watching this program right now as well, and they'll be thinking, yeah, I've got the same problem in my house as well. My son, my daughter doesn't listen to me. Now, maybe sometimes, most of the time, these people, they don't watch our program. Why would they watch Spiritual Cures? Why would they watch, programs on Madani Channel? Because they'll be scared that they're going to tell us, go and look after your parents and be loyal to your parents. Sadly, the problem is that at this moment in time, there are so many families who are at home and who are very, very worried. We've been to so many homes and we've talked to so many parents, and astaghfirullah, the things are so bad. Some of the parents, the stories that they mention, It's really amazing. May Allah Ta'ala guide these children, and may Allah Ta'ala make them, respect their parents as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. मेरी अपनी सिस्टर इन लॉ के लिए इस्तिखारा करवाना चाहती हूँ. उनका पहले भी एक बेटा है, अब फिर वो 20 वीक्स की प्रेग्नेंट हैं, और अब डॉक्टर ने बताया है कि उनका बेबी का हार्ट ठीक नहीं है. इंशाअल्लाह अज़्ज़वजल इस्तिखारा करते हैं. I would like to request an istikhara, please. In my family there has been a number of miscarriages only in the space of a few months. We don't know what the cause of this may be. Is there any wazifa we could read or istikhara? Inshallah, I'll pass that on. Hello, we would like to know about our son. Okay, I'll just pass that on as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sometimes in this message it's written ASA. So I assume that it was Assalamu alaikum. But if you just write Salam, that will be better. My name is Jazakallah to the Sawarbe and Istikhara team. You have blessed us and guided as well. We have donated also for this work. MashaAllah. So good news. We need that feedback to come as well. That, Alhamdulillah, we did Istikhara. Allah Ta'ala has given us Shifa. We are not the ones who are going to give you Shifa. We can only pass this message on that we get from the books of Hadith or the Quran. Allah is the one who gives us the Shifa. So please send us some good news as well, so that we can pass on to people, so that they can gain blessings and they can have the Istikhara done as well. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm from England. My father-in-law last week now had cancer. Please can you do Istikhara for him? Remember in your dua. Salam, my name is, can you please do Istikhara for me? I have a lot of tension linked with anxiety and depression, and pray for me please. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala give you Shifa. Assalamu alaikum, brother. My sister has headache on a regular basis. She has tried all medicines available but not joy. Can you please do Istikhara? Inshallah Azza wa Jal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Please can you do Istikhara? Cannot find a rishta. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Please can you make an Istikhara for us? My sister constantly wants to leave the home and doesn't respect her family and consider them as family. Mother is extremely stressed out and her health is deteriorating because of this. Please do not disclose the name. Inshallah Azza wa Jal. Allah Ta'ala make it easier in your family, and may Allah Azza wa Jal give barakat, inshallah Azza wa Jal. I want to pass on these names for Istikhara.
Yeah, so we've got Istikhara here. Somebody had their property on the market, and
it's not selling.
People, it's not selling. Few people have been, etc. Just before it gets signed or completed, they're not buying it. The Istikhara has been done. The Istikhara is coming back as clear, so there's no evil eye or no stoppage or anything like that which is causing it. There's a spiritual cure here. It's mentioned that recite the following verse. I'll give the reference for it. I haven't actually got the verse written down. Maybe you might be able to pick it up. Mention the verse.
Inshallah.
So the reference for this verse, it mentions that recite this verse and then perform dham upon your house, whether it's land, whether it's a vehicle, anything that you're wanting to sell. If you recite this verse just the once, Durood Sharif before and after, perform dham upon that property that you're wanting to sell, and inshallah it will get sold. The reference for this is chapter 13, so para 13, Surah Yusuf, and it's verse number 80. Chapter 13, Surah Yusuf, verse number 80. Chapter 13, Surah Yusuf, verse number 80.
Code word 1987. My brother won't speak to family. He believes we are against him, so we can't do wazifa on the phone. So I think it's not what you mentioned.
I'll have to look into something.
Ji. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is regarding someone. Okay, they said do not mention on TV. Don't worry, inshallah. Let's just pass that on for the istikhara, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My son was diagnosed with COVID-19. He has been in hospital and now has come back home, but still not feeling well. Please make dua for him and advise us what we could read for him. I think inshallah Sawarbe will give us the spiritual cure, but my advice will be that take care of him, and inshallah we'll just make sure that he's kept well safe. And it could be your parents, your other siblings, or your children as well. Now we need to keep them safe as well, inshallah azza wa jal, and we need to keep the other family safe as well. So, try to have him in a room where there was no one else, so that he cannot pass it on to others. And then also, inshallah azza wa jal, take care of him, give him enough food, inshallah azza wa jal. If he's an older person, then he won't be needing that much care, but if he's a young child, then definitely you need to give.
The istikhara reply, there's no code name. I don't know how to mention, how will they know? But basically it's...
Just mention what the problem was. And
it's regarding someone who doesn't want to stay home, always wanting to go out, etc. Parents are quite upset in that aspect. When this child is asleep, without waking the child up, from a slight distance, if they recite this following verse, either do it for 11 days or do it for 21 days, whichever one of the two. But you recite the verse just once. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bal huwa Qur'anun Majid fi lawhim mahfuz. So they recite this just the once, such a tone that you won't wake the person up who's asleep, and you'll perform dhamma, blow in the direction of that sleeping person.
What if you do wake up? Then we got to give him your number.
No, because you've read it at such a tone that they can't hear. You can hear, they can't hear.
MashaAllah. Bal huwa Qur'anun Majid fi lawhim mahfuz.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim as well. We've got a message, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. Feedback for you guys, mashallah. Brilliant show. I cannot thank you enough for airing this show live on Madani Channel. We get a lot of good news when people get better. Okay, mashallah. Jazakallah khairah for your feedback. And also, my dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel, if maybe there's someone who is ill in your family, maybe there's someone who needs your help. Now, he's not sending us the name for the istikhara, maybe he's not even watching. But if you know that, ring them up and say, can I do your istikhara? Inshallah azza wa jal. If he agrees to that, then don't worry, inshallah azza wa jal, we will do the istikhara for them as well, inshallah azza wa jal.
Okay, we've got a reply of istikhara here. Somebody is looking for a rishta. He's having problems. The code name, it mentions Petal 786.
Petrol?
No, Petal.
Petal, ठीक.
Yeah, Petal 786. This is the code name. The istikhara reply came back as Waqti Azmai, so a test from Allah. So there's no stoppages, no nazar or anything like that, no evil eye, etc. But it's a test from Allah at the moment. So there's a spiritual cure in regards to this. That person who is finding it difficult to find a rishta, it seems like there's a hurdle and they can't overcome that hurdle, etc. For a duration of 40 days, it mentions, after Salatul Fajr, while still in the state of ablution, recite Surah At-Teen 60 times with the Rushi before and after. And recite it with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim each time.
Inshallah.
And it mentions that inshallah desires will be fulfilled within 40 days.
Inshallah. There's some more messages for istikhara as well. Assalamu alaikum. Please, can you do istikhara for my daughter? My daughter has got speech problems. Allah Ta'ala give her shifa. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Can you please help my son? Is 20 years old and is very rude. He has no respect for me and he comes and goes out when he likes. He comes home late and he does not pray. I tell him to pray when it's time for namaz. He says later. He goes to uni part-time and doesn't work. Please help me as I'm ill with a chronic illness. We do my best for him. Please do istikhara for him. Allah Ta'ala make it easier for you. And may Allah Azza wa Jal grant you happiness as well, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala give him aql saneem. Assalamu alaikum. I don't want my name to be mentioned. Please can you use code word Allah? Please, and I don't want you to read this loud on TV. Okay, no problem. I'm going to read more than that. I'll send the message. I'm just going to check if everything is also okay. It's not an istikhara request.
Okay, there's one here which is somebody asked for the istikhara to be done. It's come back as evil eye, but it's somebody who suffers a headache very regularly. They've tried all sorts of medicine and it doesn't seem to be working. So the nazar spiritual cure has already been mentioned, the La ilaha illallah 60 times, the rushid before and after. So they can do that to remove the nazar. In regards to the headache, which they get very regularly and it doesn't seem to go away, and no medicine works for that, it mentions that recite Surah Nas, the last surah of 30th chapter. Recite Surah Nas 7 times with Durood Sharif once before and once after. Perform dam upon the person. Or so if somebody is doing it for you, they'll perform dam upon you. If you're doing it yourself, then perform dam upon your hands and wipe upon your head on the area of pain. So you recite Surah Nas 7 times, Durood Sharif before and after, perform dam. If the headache is still there, it hasn't gone away, then repeat this process. So you'll recite Surah Nas 7 times again with Durood Sharif before and after, perform dam again. If the headache still remains even after the second time, then repeat the cycle again, Surah Nas 7 times, Durood Sharif before and after. Inshallah, so by the time you've done it the third time,
Inshallah. There's an Islamic brother, he says that he's moved from Birmingham to Manchester, and he's still having the same problems. But is it better for him to move back to Birmingham again? But the thing is, that brother has not given. We can give you an advice, but we don't even know what the situation is, to be honest with you. We'll need your name, my brother, and we'll need your mother's name as well, please. If you can resend that message with your name and your mother's name, and inshallah we'll try to do istikhara for you as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
One advice, when the message, when the viewers are sending a message, if they complete the message in one message.
Yeah, I've been telling that. So sometimes
send it through rather than sending half of it on one message and then half on the second. Because with that, if any of the messages comes in between.
I've been having that problem for a few weeks, but sometimes what happens is maybe when we tell them, they weren't watching. So inshallah. So if you are watching now, please try to send the message in one. So the name of the person, the mother's name, and the brief description in one message. If you send us a message and then you forget something and you send us just, maybe you forgot to write the mother's name, and if you just send us the mother's name, we don't know which one to tally up with. So please, if you can help us with that, inshallah. Please, can you advise my son who is also watching how to take care of parents and be not rude with them? Okay, mashallah. I think if that mashallah son is watching, then I just advise you that the respect and the rights of parents are so huge and great that Allah Ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So Allah Ta'ala is ordering the Muslims that you need to be kind to your parents. You need to look after your parents. Don't make them angry. Don't make them, feel upset. Astaghfirullah. So-called children, on the day of judgment, when Allah Ta'ala will deal with you, then it'll be really, really hard to get away from the wrath of Allah Azza wa Jal. So please, if your mom ever asks you to do something which is in the boundary of Shariat, don't say no to her. And if your dad ever asks you to do something which is inside the boundary of Shariat, don't say no to them as well. Because your parents are with you now. Go and ask those people who don't have parents. Even at a young age, their parents have passed away. And they'll be making dua for their parents. Your parents are still alive. They're still with you. Take care of them.
Okay, next is that there's no mention of code name. Somebody wanted istikhara doing regarding somebody who's suffering with cancer. The istikhara replies come back with a sign of illness. A spiritual cure in regards to this: recite the whole of Surah Maryam with Durood Ibrahim 11 times before and 11 times after. Perform dam upon some water, and give that water to the patient to drink. Inshallah, within 40 days, inshallah, the cancer will go away.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I've had illness, fever and fatigue for over a week. Please, can you do istikhara and make dua? Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I have been ill for many years but no proper cure. Is my illness because of some magic? Okay, I don't know if I've forwarded that on, so
okay, the istikhara, there's no code name. There's a istikhara whether they should move into a new house and the center address. It mentions that it's not better for them to move into that
address. Check, mashallah. Ji, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have two sons, one is 20 and the other is 23 years old. They are looking for a job. In this climate, they are finding it really hard to look for a job. Please can you send a wazifa and make dua for them? And I keep watching your program every week and I find satisfaction. Alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala give barakat. And your sons, may Allah Ta'ala give them a job. What was the wazifa for job? Ya Latif.
Ya Latif for 2 nafal. Very makruh time.
MashaAllah. So read 2 nafal and after reading the 2 nafal, recite Ya Latifu 182 times and make dua for your job. That Allah Ta'ala gives you a good job, inshallah. Remember, good job doesn't mean that you get paid more. Good job is that you can earn a halal money, you can offer your salah, you can fulfill your Islamic duties. That's what you call a good job. A good job doesn't mean that you're going to get £100,000 a week and you don't have time to offer your salah, you don't have time to look after your family. That's not a good job.
Lawful, as long as lawful, ease and full of blessings.
Alhamdulillah.
The next istikhara, no code name mentioned again. It's for the child. They wanted to find out whether there's anything wrong, anybody's done anything on their child. The istikharas come back as nazar, so they can do the nazar spiritual cure which you mentioned, which was La ilaha illallah 60 times with Durood Sharif before and after.
That's one wazifa I know by heart now, mashallah.
And the chili method as well, which they can do, where they take the 7 chilies and clockwise go around the head of the patient and then burn them chilies, placing them on the griddle, on the tawa. And once the chilies are burnt, if smell emanates, then that's a sign that you've eradicated the evil eye. Then you repeat the next day. If, for example, the chilies burn and become charcoal, but there's absolutely no smell, then you'll take another 7 and you'll repeat the process. And you'll keep doing. Sometimes you might have to do it 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times, until you actually emanate. The smell emanates, and the smell of chilies, when it emanates, you know it because it's very strong. You'll need to open.
Have you done them practically yourself?
The chilies, when they burn, Afasab, you know, if you were in your kitchen and you burn chilies in a normal way, not because somebody's got evil eye. Generally, you won't be able to stand in that kitchen. You'll be coughing and spluttering. That's how. How bad the smell emanates of chilies burning. So when the evil eye is there, absolutely you can't smell anything. They just burn and become charcoal. Then you need to repeat that.
Okay. MashaAllah. Someone's asked a question on my mobile and they said that, why is it that a lot of people get evil eye? Why is it a lot of people get evil eye?
Evil eye, it can be, it doesn't mean that you've gone outside and somebody's looked at you in a bad way. Like look at the actual word or the term evil eye. It makes it look like somebody's looked at you in a bad way. And that's why you've got evil eye. Evil eye can be through happiness. For example, your child, your baby, you've given him a bath and you've dressed him up. And like mothers, the surma, etc. They put on. And somebody looks and, this is like a habit that a lot of our elderly, they used to do. And there wasn't this thing before we came into the mahal as well. And those who are outside of the environment of the Islami, there isn't a habit of saying MashaAllah either. So when you look at something and you like what you're looking at, but you don't say MashaAllah, then even through happiness, evil eye can be,
That's why when I look at you, I always say MashaAllah. Subhanallah. So
it's not necessary that somebody's giving you daggers and that's why you've got evil eye. Evil eye through happiness. Own parents, evil eye can inflict their own child. So this is why there's a lot of things that I mentioned.
Amir al-Sunnah has mentioned that many times as well, that if you look at your children and they look beautiful, don't say, oh, my son is so beautiful. Kitna sona. Instead of saying that, just say, MashaAllah, he's so beautiful. Subhanallah, he's so beautiful. Inshallah, Azawajal, your evil eye will not be passed on to the child. And in the same way, if you do something, now that doesn't mean, okay, I've got a grudge against him, now I'm going to say, kitna sona hai, so then he's going to get the evil eye. It might just fall back on yourself, so don't even try that at home.
Amir al-Sunnah in Madani Channel also mentioned regarding put in a small speckle, with like surma, put it under the chin here, so it makes it, it's not a permanent thing, or it's like, for example, with surma, they just make a little speckle, but in a sense, it sort of makes the face imperfect a little bit because there's like a black spot there.
Ji, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, can you help me to bring my son back home, as he does not come home often? I think you haven't said about istikhara or anything, but the advice will be that just keep in contact with your son. I know it's sometimes, it's like, it's really hard, but you've got to keep on top of that as well. Keep in contact with him, inshallah. Make dua for him, Allah Ta'ala, gives him the guidance.
Okay, there's somebody wanted istikhara doing in regards to their daughter. I think they've got problems with speech. In the istikhara, I think it's come back as clear. Yeah, the istikhara reply has come back as clear. In regards to this, now it just mentions my child has got speech problems. It doesn't actually mention an age. Now regarding this, somebody who is not too young of age, then you take a clean pebble and recite that, you put it into your mouth and recite the verse, Rabbi shrah li sadri, that particular verse. If the child is here, obviously because the age has not been mentioned, if the child's age is such that it's a small child, and the risk of swallowing that pebble, or the child will not be able to read these verses, what they can do is recite this verse, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri, the complete, recite it 21 times with Durood Sharif before and after, perform dam upon water, and then give that water to that child to drink. Inshallah, the speech problem will go away.
Inshallah.
There's another istikhara reply. It's come back as evil eye. We will give you a different spiritual cure, because they keep mentioning the La ilaha illallah 60 times. That person who has got evil eye, they can either write it themselves or they can get it written. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyumu. Write it 786 times upon a piece of paper, plastic, coat it and wear it as a taweez, whether it's around the arm or around the neck. Inshallah, that person will be protected from the influence of evil eye.
Okay, mashallah. I think the code word Mirpur 115, they've sent a message back, so I'm going to forward that on as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Please don't mention any names. My dad is away from deen. Our family is constantly arguing. Please could you advise a wazifa and do istikhara for us? We can advise you, but at the moment you haven't sent us your dad's name or your mum's name, so anything like that. So I'm sorry, we won't be able to do istikhara there. Assalamu alaikum, brother. If you can kindly do istikhara for my daughter, I am finding it very hard to find her a suitable groom. If you could kindly do istikhara. Sister, you haven't mentioned your own name as well, so we cannot do istikhara there as well.
After the reply for this istikhara, somebody who's been working a job for so many years and they're wanting to make a move and do something else, the istikhara replies come back as not better for them to take that move. Was that obstacle in marriage? Did you want a wazifa for obstacle in marriage? You just mentioned. Yeah. So this one's particularly for girls. I think you mentioned for a daughter, didn't you? So this one is particularly for girls. It mentions those girls who've got obstacle. Basically, they're looking for rishte come and they tend to break. They don't get fulfilled, or they get engaged and then the engagement breaks. Basically, the marriage is not becoming complete. After Salatul Fajr, so after they've read Salatul Fajr, if they recite Ya Dhal Jalali Wal Ikram, Ya Dhal Jalali Wal Ikram, Ya Dhal Jalali Wal Ikram 312 times with Durood Sharif before and after, inshallah, not only will they get married soon, also their husband will be a virtuous as well.
Inshallah.
So that's 2 in 1.
MashaAllah. Headaches for the past 7 months due to occipital neuralgia, feeling weak and dizzy all the time. Can you please tell me if this is due to evil eye? So I've sent that for us, inshallah. We've got 6 minutes left. I don't think we'll be able to take any more messages, but we're trying to do the istikharas, inshallah.
Okay, somebody had istikhara done. They were thinking whether if you can check whether they're affected by magic because they've been ill for a very long time. The reply of the istikhara was that there's no magic. Basically, the istikhara has come back as clear, so it's just a sign of illness. Now, this particular spiritual cure I'm going to give you, this is for somebody who remains ill for a long time, or you can say constant illness, he's always ill, and he's ill to that severity that he can't even get up and walk. So this, or any person who's severely ill, that they're at that stage where they can't even get up, if they recite Ya Hayyu, Ya Hayyu, Ya Hayyu 1,000 times and perform them either upon themselves or they get somebody else to recite it for them, they perform them upon the patient, inshallah the illness will go away.
MashaAllah. I think if the person who is ill can read it himself, it will be much better.
It'll be much better, Gigi.
Ji. I've got a message here, so I know this was given on TV, but it was too quick. I know there was no nazar, alhamdulillah. Did the brother mention wazifa as to read Surah Teen, what Teen after Salatul Fajr for 40 days?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was correct.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Yeah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and Surah Wat Teen for 40 days after Salatul Fajr, that is correct.
That was the person, if I can remember right, that was they couldn't get married or something.
Okay.
The istikhara came as a reply, but why they were wanting to get the istikhara was related to marriage.
Okay, mashallah. I would like to do a general istikhara to see if anything is wrong, as recently I've been feeling very bad physically and mentally. Assalamu alaikum, brother, can you do istikhara? I'm trying to buy a house, I've got the money, but still I'm facing barriers. My name, my mother's name. The code word London Chaudhary. Is there any nazar in my process of getting married? Please do istikhara. Okay, I pass that on as well. There have been istikharas for a few of them.
But there's no mother's name.
There's no mother's name, I'm afraid.
So
I'll mention, it's someone wanted an istikhara for that dad who is away from deen. You haven't mentioned your dad's mum's name, so the istikhara could not have been done. If you kindly do istikhara for my daughter, her name, I'm finding very hard to find her a suitable groom. You haven't mentioned your name, the girl's mother's name. And also Hafiz Saab, my son, 4-year-old, still not talking. He understands, he listens. Doctor said medically okay, do istikhara for him. But you haven't mentioned his mother's name. Istikhara has been done for, there was a code word, but can you do istikhara for me? I have a lot of tension linked with anxiety, depression. Please pray for me. The istikhara was done and it is nazar. So for the one who sent in a message for anxiety and depression, it is nazar. And also, please don't read aloud. The Islam brother who moved from Birmingham to Manchester and wants to go back to Birmingham, the istikhara is clear for that.
There was one which you mentioned, somebody, I don't know if the istikhara got done or not, but it was regarding that a lot of people in their family have had miscarriages on a regular. This particular spiritual cure, if you want to look at the reference of it, it's from the booklet Daughter Thrown Alive into Well, a booklet written by Amir al-Sunnah, which has got a lot of spiritual cures in there. This particular one is spiritual cure number 20, page number 30, and it mentions that the Islamic sister should recite Ya Hayyu, Ya Hafizu, Ya Musawwiru 1100 times. Ya Hayyu, Ya Hafizu, Ya Musawwiru, Ya Hayyu, Ya Hafizu, Ya Musawwiru 1100 times, and she should recite this for 40 days. Inshallah, that will be better.
Inshallah. Sadly, we've run out of time. We're just waiting for Imran Bhai to tell us the istikhara results as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was a brother from Bradford who sent you that message for the miscarriages in their family. Medina Sharif 63. Another istikhara has been done. Please can you do istikhara for me? It was code word 2003. And the istikhara has been done and it is showing us illness. So no black magic, no evil eye.
Ya Salamu 111 times.
Ya Salamu 111 times, Durood Sharif before and after. Keep reciting that, Allah Ta'ala will give you shifa, inshallah Azza wa Jal. Another istikhara has been done, code word London Chaudhary. The istikhara has been done waqti azmaish, so it's a temporary test from Allah Azza wa Jal. Jazakallah khaira, my dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel. Sadly, we are at the end of our program. Inshallah, we'll finish it here today. Well, inshallah.
One thing to remember that with istikhara, definite knowledge is not attained, and also Allah knows what's best.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khaira for watching. We'll see you next week, same time and same place. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
You slaves always request for dua. You slaves always request for dua. Please fulfill the wish of every helpless, Ya Allah. Please fulfill the wish of every helpless, Ya Allah.